I want to ride every Harley Davidson out there, but I don't want to buy any of them. Let's get into it.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. So this video is all about Harley Davidson motorcycles, the new ones, the new models here I'm talking about, and would I like to ride any of them? Let's say if Harley Davidson reached out to me or any dealership and they said, Alf, we like your stuff, we like the cut of your jib, and we'd like you to come and ride our motorcycles and review them and all that kind of stuff. Well, I'm not sure how much of a review I could give them, but I would say, look, yes, I will come and ride your motorcycles. I will do you this favor. But then, would they ask me to buy any of them? And that's where I have a little bit of a problem. It's not that I don't like the bikes. In fact, I love the bikes. Some of them I really love. The Softails, in fact, some of the, the Taurus. Not so keen on the CVOs, certainly the 2022 ones. I'm just, not a fan of that style or that paint that they've got, the flames and everything, but that's a personal thing. But in terms of the Taurus, yeah. In terms of the Softails, absolutely. In terms of the Pan America, yeah, definitely. But I just can't get over if I'm getting value for money out of them, and I'm not sure I am, and my personal finances, I'm not really sure could stretch to a brand new motorcycle anymore. But actually, if let's say somebody were to give me $50,000 shekels and say, Alf, you can just go there and just pick whatever you want. You know what? I probably would. I'd say, you know what? Out of all these bikes, if I've got that money and I have to spend it on one of these bikes, yeah, I probably would buy a brand new one. But that's a hypothetical. The reality is, my current situation now, I would definitely ride at every one of them, and I'd probably enjoy every single one of them, but I probably wouldn't be able to buy any of them. Now, I just wonder how many of you out there are in exactly the same position. You'd love to ride a brand new Harley Davidson, but you just can't afford it. You'd love to go into a dealership and say, hey, look, I love that Road Glide or that Street Glide or that Lowrider S with the 117 engine. Oh, yeah, I love all that. The STs, oh, beautiful. But you just don't have the dinar for it, do you? You're basically priced out of the market. This is not against Harley Davidson as in the kind of bikes that they're producing. It's the kind of bikes that they're producing and how much they're costing or how much they're going to cost on a finance deal. And that's what's putting people off. It's not that we don't like the bikes, it's just that we don't like the price of these things. Now, would I buy a Harley Davidson that is used, an older bike? Absolutely. And I've been talking about this more and more recently, and on certain videos I've exchanged some comments as well. Some of the older bikes, as I get older now, and this is the same for cars and bikes as well, all modern bikes and cars are heavily affected by electronics, and I kind of think actually going back in time a little bit to where things were a little bit simpler, where it's mechanical, where it's analog, I kind of like that. And I really like some of those old Harley Davidsons as well. And they don't have to be that old, really. That, yes, they still might be expensive in terms of second-hand or used bikes, but you could still pick up a half-decent motorcycle for, well, just a few thousand as opposed to tens of thousands, let's say. And, the chances are, if you're mechanically minded in any way, shape or form, you'll be able to get hold of literature, you'll be able to get hold of parts, and you might even be able to fix a thing yourself. That's a win-win-win for me. I think the problem is with a brand new motorcycle is that you are kind of locked in to buying the bike with a finance and then possibly locked into working with a dealership who are the only ones who might be able to work on your bike in the future, let's say, because of all the electronics and the specialist equipment that is required. So if you go back to an older bike, let's say with a Harley Davidson, for example, in this case, then you might not need all that speciality equipment. You might need special tools, but not speciality equipment. And there'd be so many people who have worked on these bikes in the past. Actually, you're just buying into that. You're buying into the old ways, as it were. Yeah, I could definitely see myself doing that and tinkering with bikes. And even if they're not that reliable, actually having a bike to work on and fix like it used to do back in the day, as opposed to just riding this and hoping it never breaks down so I don't have to break it apart. But it's the electronics on it that I don't really care for. Although it works great, don't get me wrong, it's the electronics that I don't really care for, because I know if something goes wrong with it in that regard, I'm going to have to take that bit of electronics off, have to replace it, but I'm going to need the Harley dealership to be able to do all that stuff for me, because I don't have all the software or the link up to, you know, Harley Davidson Motor Company to be able to do it. That's my point. Older bikes, I didn't need that feature. Newer bikes, you do. So when people ask me, you know, would you ride any Harley Davidson? I'd say absolutely. But would I buy any? Gotta say, I would buy an older Harley, absolutely. But a new one, unless somebody gave me the money to do so, I very much doubt it. But anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Would you ride any Harley? Would you buy any brand new Harley Davidson right now? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. But don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share. Check out the website, RevelatorAlf.com. Ta-da!